What up, peeps? This your boy Glass with Get With It Sports, place where you get your sports knowledge with a little swag. Give you my 2 cents about the Mike D'Antoni hire with the Los Angeles Lakers. It's a good hire. I guess that's the best they could do. You guys know I don't like the Lakers. Respect them. They got championships. Respect the players that they had, Hall of Famers and all that. Just don't like the Lakers. Some of y'all love them. I hate them. Anyway. Can't go wrong with the hire. That's the best they could do. Real talk, I don't even think Phil Jackson won the job in the first place. If you think about it, he was also asking a whole hell of a lot for little services, if you know what I'm talking about. I think it was a pissing match between him and his son, Jim Buss, the son of the owner, Jim Buss. Number one, if you look in from Jim's point of view, he probably ticked off at Phil Jackson, number one, because when you was the head coach, you was getting more respect than the owners. Let's keep it real now. He was running L.A. Number two, I guess he wasn't giving Jim the respect of being the son of the owner. He'd rather go to Jerry than speak to Jim. Number three, he's dating his sister. Come on now. You number one, you're running the town. You disrespecting me, and you're dating my sister. I can understand the pissing match. Don't get me wrong. Understand the pissing match. But Phil Jackson, he didn't want to be. I'll put it to you like this. I know Phil Jackson didn't want to be the head coach. He was just rubbing it in to Jim Buss. Let's look at it. You asking for the same salary you had before you left, which was $10 million a year. And you ask for travel restrictions, which means you only going to be there, you're going to give me half your services, but you want the same pay. Then, you talking about you want more power in basketball operations? Well, if I give you more power in basketball operations, you ain't the head coach no more. You the general manager. And if you the general manager, why do I need Mitch Kupchak? I think Phil just threw something against the wall and see how it sticks. He's fine not coaching the LA Lakers, but if y'all was willing to give him the money, give him the power, and give him the restrictions, he was going to take it and just probably laugh in Jim's face. So I honestly don't think Phil Jackson was going to be the Lakers head coach. He was just throwing stuff out there. Now let's get back to reality. You got Mike D'Antoni. Oh, yeah. So good hire. And I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to keep it real with you. I was gonna put up my playoff rankings. I guess you could say the teams coming out the West, the teams coming out of the East, and where they rank. Power rankings, I guess you could say. Lakers was gonna be in the top 5 with Mike Brown as head coach. And y'all know how I feel about Mike Brown being the head coach of the Lakers, let alone be a head coach. If Mike Brown was to stay as the Lakers head coach, they was gonna be number 6. 6 at best, because I don't think he could coach that team. Now if you have Phil Jackson, much as I wouldn't like that hire, because like I said, I don't like the Lakers, they would have been moved up to at least top 3. Probably not number 1, but definitely top 3. With that being said, now we got Mike D'Antoni. Definitely won't be number 6. You're hovering around 4 and 3 right now. More likely 4. So, I guess it was the best hire that they could do at that time. Can't trip on it. I would rather you have Brian Shaw up in there, but he's from the Phil Jackson coaching tree, and I'm sure Jim Buss wasn't going to let that happen. So, I would have rather, if I was a Laker fan, I would rather it be Brian Shaw instead of Mike D'Antoni. But you got Mike D'Antoni. It's an upgrade from where y'all was. I'd rather y'all had Mike Brown and just dwell in the basement. But y'all had to do what y'all had to do. So that's my two cents on that. I really don't think Phil Jackson was going to be the head coach. He was just pulling Jim Buss's leg. Mike D'Antoni is a good hire, but that won't get you to the championship. Me and Brandon always say, defense wins championships. Offense get you to get get the games on your belt, have you win the games that you need to win. But to win the championship, you got to have defense. And when the last time y'all seen a Mike D'Antoni team play defense? The only time they was close to being in the championship is when they played the Spurs. I can't remember 2000. Can't remember the year. But when they played the Spurs in the Western Conference Finals, and Robert Ory give their hip check to Steve Nash, and that kind of gave Amari Stoudemire, I think it was a game suspension for leaving the bench. So that was their only chance of getting to the playoffs. And I think they would have, getting to the NBA Finals. And I think they would have beat Cleveland. But he had a nice team then. He had Steve Nash, Amari Stoudemire, Shawn Marion, Joe Johnson. They had a nice little squad there. So let's just wait and see what goes on with the Lakerland, with Lakers Nation. See if y'all agree with the pick. Once again, those are my 2 cents. Good pickup. Could have been better, but better nonetheless. And come on, let's not even worry about the money. The money situation wasn't even in there. If I am mistaken, they got a TV contract that's in the billions. Everybody was talking about what you're paying. You still got to finish paying Mike Brown his $14 million, even though you fired him. You got D'Antoni for 3 years, $12 million. You can handle that. I just think you should have waited a little bit longer and see if you get a more defensive-minded coach. That's just what I think. So this your boy Glass with Get With It Sports, place where you get your sports knowledge with a little swag. And as always, be good, be safe, get with it. Peace.